Dover-Foxcroft deciding yesterday not to remove the Mayo Mill Dam. The majority said they don't support the removal of the dam with 58%. 42% of the voters said yes. This was corrected by town officials after incorrect election results were provided last night. Mayo Mill Dam was acquired by the town in 2007. Dover-Foxcroft town manager said the price to repair the dam and restore its hydropower abilities would be more than $8 million. After a feasibility report, the select board recommended the dam to be removed due to the increased probability of flooding and a lack of available restoration funds.